Jana Duggar is opening up about her life-changing move. The eldest Duggar daughter moved from her Arkansas home to live with her husband, Stephen Wisman, in Nebraska. The 34-year-old 19 kids and counting on Elam grew up in Tontitown, Arkansas. After getting married in August, she moved out of her tiny house on her parents' property. Before the big move, she acknowledged that she would miss some things about her life in Arkansas. In a video shared on November 11, Jana spoke about some of the things she would miss about her home in Arkansas. The video was filmed before Jana's August wedding and her big move. "I know my life is about to change in many ways, moving more to the city life," she said in the video. Thinking about what she'd miss, she said, "I am treasuring these quiet mornings on the farm. The baby sheep toddling around are just so cute." Between preparing for her wedding and renovating her Nebraska fixer-upper alongside her now husband, Jana was pretty busy during the weeks leading up to her wedding. However, she also tried to slow down a bit and enjoy her time with her family. "I'm definitely going to miss being so close to everyone and being able to just pop over and hang out all the time," she said in the video. Although she was aware that moving to Nebraska would be an adjustment for her, Jana said she was so excited for what lies ahead. At the same time, she made an effort to cherish her remaining time on the farm. "I am also sure that I'll have moments when I miss the farm. The sun rises over the orchard, the garden, the animals. It's just so peaceful out here," she said. "I'm doing my best to soak up these memories to take with me." Speaking to People, Jana Duggar called her August wedding in Arkansas a dream come true. As the eldest Duggar daughter, Jana watched 11 of her younger siblings get married before she did, which she called disheartening at times. "For me, it felt like, okay, it's never coming," she told People just before her special day. "But now it's starting to sink in. Reality is starting to set in. And I'm like, wow, this truly is something that I've dreamed of." Though he doesn't have 18 siblings, Stephen also comes from a large family. He grew up in Nebraska with his parents and 12 siblings. As Jana and her husband worked on their Nebraska fixer-upper, Jana documented their progress on her YouTube channel. "We've been working. He has a little house we bought that we've been fixing up and getting pulled together. And so that's been fun," Jana told People in August. "It's been a very long time since we've been able to offer an update on the life of Jana Duggar." Jana hasn't posted on Instagram since March of 2022, and she's been keeping a very low profile in the wake of her family's most recent controversies. Unlike some of her siblings, Jana did not comment on her sister Jill Duggar's recent memoir, and she certainly didn't participate in Amazon's anti-Duggar documentary, Shiny Happy People. So what has Jana been up to? Well, she still lives at home with her parents, and as far as we know, she spends her days assisting with the education of her youngest siblings. All Duggars are homeschooled, of course, and insiders say Jana is basically treated like a live-in nanny and tutor. Fans have been curious about Jana's health and well-being, and she's a frequent topic of conversation in Duggar-themed Reddit threads, but she seems to have no interest in addressing the public. In fact, she seems intent on steering clear of the spotlight and returning to a life of relative anonymity. Unfortunately for Jana, several members of her family are still attempting to forge media careers, which means it's not easy for her to slink back into obscurity. One of those family members is Jana's sister Joy Anna, whose YouTube channel boasts nearly 250,000 subscribers. Joy posts frequent, lengthy videos about her family life, so Jana fans figured it was only a matter of time before their fav made a cameo. Their patience was rewarded this week when Joy posted footage from Michelle Duggar's latest birthday party. Jana might not have said much in the clip, but fans think her clothing did the talking for her. After all, it's clear that the 33-year-old is no longer following the rules of the ridiculous Duggar dress code, which requires women to cover their limbs at all times. Several of Jana's sisters have abandoned the code, but only after receiving permission from their husbands. Jana is still single and still living with her overbearing parents, so fans were surprised to see that she's ditched the little house on the prairie garb. Jana is very independent and more alpha compared to her sisters, but she can't get a place of her own until she meets someone her family approves of, an insider told UK tabloid The Sun back in 2021. The Duggars are so religious, they wouldn't agree with her moving out and living alone, or living with a friend or boyfriend. It's frowned upon, it's ridiculous, but it's how it's always been, the source continued. She wants to fly the nest, but it's hard as she has to find the right guy, which is a goal for all of the girls, and she hates being the last single sister. Earlier this year, Jana joined her brother James on his tour of Europe, and some fans expressed hope that she would remain overseas and start a new life. Sadly, after a few days of broadening her horizons, Jana was right back to sharing a room with her younger sisters. We hope that she's happy with the life she's chosen, and that the public's concern for her mental state is unfounded. But either way, it doesn't look like Jana will be breaking her silence anytime soon. As you've likely heard by now, Jill Duggar published her debut memoir earlier this month. And as expected, the book was not well received by her entire family. Some Duggars defended Jill and her right to tell her story as she sees fit, but others, such as Jill's parents, have harshly criticized the book. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar blasted Jill as a liar and alleged that she wrote the book with malicious intent. And it seems that several members of the Duggar family have sided with their parents in this war of words against Jill. One of the most outspoken Jim Bob and Michelle supporters is the couple's 24-year-old son Jedediah Duggar. According to a new report from In Touch, Jed is no longer following Jill or her husband, Derek Dillard, on Instagram. It's a minor snub, but insiders say it's an indicative of a rising tide of anti-Jill sentiment within the Duggar clan. Jill's brother Jed and his wife Katie want nothing to do with her or Derek, says a source close to the situation. And it's not the first indication that Jed is not a fan of his sister's literary debut. Earlier this month, Jed liked an Instagram comment in which a user criticized Jill for disrespecting her parents. "I can't help but feel bad for your parents. I cannot imagine my children writing tell-all books about my family," the user wrote on one of Jill's posts. "Here's the thing, Jill, no family is perfect, not one. And yes, while most do not have reality TV shows, you would also not have the opportunity to profit from your story." Jed also lashed out at a commenter who blasted Jed's shameful public criticism of his older sister. "Excuse you, but you don't know our family at all. Please don't make assumptions about things that 100% are none of your business. The true shame is on you," he wrote. Jill has received support from her sisters, but it seems that for the most part, the men in the family are Team Jim Bob. That makes sense, of course, as the Duggars are an intensely patriarchal clan, and the men have a vested interest in protecting their way of life, which means defending Jim Bob's ridiculous belief system. But despite their best efforts, it seems that the old ways are not long for this world. Duggar women are living more modern lives, and just this week, Amy Duggar revealed that she's working on a memoir of her own. The family thrived in secrecy for years, but now they're being exposed by their very own. And the future isn't looking very bright for the Jeds and Jim Bobs. Earlier this year, fans discussed Josie Duggar's apparent health issues in light of their most recent glimpses of the now teenage daughter. Well, thanks to one of her sisters, Josie made a rare, but brief, appearance on the internet again. How is she doing? Jana Duggar recently shared a YouTube video. The footage goes on for nearly 20 minutes. Much of it is the usual fare for Duggar family content. However, one flowery moment of the video drew a lot of attention from fans. That's Josie. In the video, Josie makes a brief appearance. Wearing a beige sweater and her hair in a bow, she's helping with the table. The table is home to a flower pot. It's a plastic bucket, full of what appear to be daisies and a few other simple flowers. Elsewhere on the table, we see some miniature pumpkins. Halloween is just around the corner, but not for the Duggar cult. The reason for the family gathering was Michelle Duggar's birthday. This notoriously awful person's birthday falls on September 13. She turned 57. Joy was there to visit, which is how the world ended up with this small glimpse of Josie. Take a look at the video below. Naturally, longtime Duggar fans took to the comments to discuss Josie. She looks so grown up in the footage, one observed. Josie's so pretty, another raved. And the flowers. Looks like so much fun. Nice to see Josie. A third person mentioned, Josie is getting so big. We would not, in general, recommend describing most people that way once they are in their double digits. Josie's health was on people's mind after seeing Josie wearing a fitted harness around her neck and shoulders earlier this year. Many interpreted it as a figure-8 brace. Often, these braces help fix fractures and dislocations and broken collarbones. Obviously, Duggar fans voiced their concerns. Some wondered if it was merely a flexible back brace. Others, considering what the Duggar family is like, worried about her well-being at home. During Michelle's pregnancy with Josie, she suffered preeclampsia. This dangerously high blood pressure forced her to undergo an emergency C-section. As a result, Josie's birth happened 3.5 months premature. She's not just a preemie, she's a micro-preemie. It is entirely possible that Josie will suffer long-term health difficulties for years to come. Fans feel invested in Josie's health and well-being. But of course, she has spent less of her life on reality TV than she once might have. Her cultist parents and convicted criminal eldest brother made sure of that.